Okay, so hello, welcome. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at the present perfect simple. As we often do, let's start looking at how to form this tense, how to create a sentence in the present perfect simple. Okay, for the present perfect simple, we are going to use the verb to have as an auxiliary. Okay, as with any other verb in the present, the verb to have in the third person singular has to take an s, so it becomes has. So remember, for all the pronouns I, you, we, they, we are going to use have, and for she, he, or it, we are going to use has, and then we add the past participle. Remember, for regular verbs, we just have to add ed to the main verb with the rules that we should already know. And if it's an irregular verb, we just have to use the past participle, like the third column, from those lists of irregular verbs that we all have studied in the past. Here we have some examples. She has eaten already, and they have lost the match. So remember, we start with the subject, the auxiliary verb to have, and the past participle. All right. For the contractions, for both speaking language and for informal writing, okay, we use have, ve instead of have, and s instead of has. Okay, remember to be especially careful with the s, because it coincides with the verb to be in the present perfect, in the third person singular is. So is and has contracts to the same s. So we have to watch up for that. Example, he's gone already. And with finish, it's easier because it's clearly recognizable. They finish their homework. Okay, for questions, for interrogative sentence, as with any other verb, we invert the auxiliary verb and the subject. So we start with has or have, then the subject, that can be a pronoun or a proper name or a name or whatever, and then the past participle. Has she called you? Have they arrived? And for negative sentences, we just, as with any other verb, we add not to the auxiliary verb. For formal writing, we can keep it separated. I have not sent you a message. He has not paid yet. But for most informal writing and for most like oral situations, for like when we are speaking, we tend to contract it to haven't and hasn't. I haven't sent you a message. He hasn't paid yet. Okay? Now let's move on to how to use the present perfect simple in a real situation. Like in which kind of situations do we need to use this tense? So we use it mainly for actions that started in the past and continue to the present. Okay, here we have two examples. I have worked in Pinto since 2014. She has played the piano for years. So let's have a look at these two examples. Let's imagine this person. It could be me. It's not really me because I don't work in Pinto anymore. But if someone has been working somewhere, for example, I imagine if I have been working in Pinto, I'm still working here. I started some years ago, 5 in this case, but I'm still working here. Okay, so it's an action that started in the past, but still continues nowadays. Or she has played the piano for years. It means that at some point in the past, she started playing piano, but she hasn't stopped. She is still doing it today. She plays the piano at the moment. Okay, and in a similar fashion, we can use it for actions that took place in the past and are still relevant in the present. This means that these actions still affect the present, still have an influence in the present moment. They have an influence today. So let's have a look at these two examples. She has failed the exam, so she needs to stay at home and study. This means that even if the exam was failed in the past, I don't know, some days or some weeks ago, and it's an action that is already finished, this action still has an impact on today, on the present, because this person, this girl, still needs to study, okay? Or in here we have, he looks tired because he has been sick for days. So the fact that he was sick in the past, he started to be sick, the action may be finished, he may not be sick anymore, but it's still affecting this person because he still looks tired. This case is not so clear. He could still be sick or not. The action may be finished or not. But the important thing here is that the action of being sick, it's affecting the subject, and the object in this case, and he still, it's the subject in this sentence, and he still looks tired. All right. And finally, here we have some expressions that often goes with the present perfect simple. So if an exam, we see these words in an exercise, they are kind of hinting, they are pointing at that we probably need to use the present perfect simple. Or if we are writing a text, for example, they would combine very nicely with this tense, okay? So they are for, since, just, never. Like I've been working for, I've worked for many years here. I lived here since this time. I have just arrived, etc. Okay? Yet, recently, lately, we have in recent years, in recent months, in recent weeks. How long have you done this? How long have you studied English? And so on and so forth. So finally, before the end, here we have your homework. These are the two questions that you just have to answer to prove that you have watched the video. You can pause it here, okay? And see you the next day.